what do you think of Fidel Adams, the leader of the Congress, Federal, Colored Congress Federal Party? His party is about colored people. Fidel Adams. What do you think of him calling Xhosa people foreigners in the Western Cape and saying Western Cape is only for colored people?
First of all, I think that's crazy. That's a crazy thinking, because first of all, we are in South Africa and there's so many colored people in Joburg. So where do those colored people go? Like other black people around Joburg, should they call them foreigners because now they wanna have their own independent Western Cape? Do we call them foreigners? That's the question.
No, they're saying in the context, yes, there's a video.
Pretty excited.
We want an independent Western Cape.
But is it going to work for you?
We want an independent Western Cape. We feel that it can work. We feel that, look, we've been made to feel apart from the rest of this country anyway. So we might as well pack up, close our borders, and have our own country. And we can show South Africa how the democracy project is supposed to work, where everybody fits on a common voters roll, and everybody, white, black, brown, and Indian, will benefit from the good of this country.
And who are those white, black, brown, Indian people who will be in your hood? I mean, are they only successful people?
No.
What does it look like?
Everybody born in this province pre-94.
So how will it actually work? I mean, how do you go about this if you are looking for secession and your aspirations? How do you fulfill them?
Well, first of all, if you let's get the economics out of the way. We're sending almost 200 billion back to Treasury every year to belong to this country. We're getting back 45 billion. Out of that 45 billion, we've got to do the housing thing, we've got to do the structural thing, we've got to do the upgrades. If we have 200 billion, we can instantly uplift the standard of living of everyone in this province. There won't be a hungry person again. We've got the sea, we can do our fishing, we've got the arable land, we can farm, we've got the tourism industry. We'll turn Cape Town into the Monaco of Africa. And South Africa can watch how we do it. Because at this point in time, the ANC government is slowly but surely killing us. My community is on a starvation diet because of government and its policies.
So with that video, the context is that the Xhosa people, they want to claim land in the Western Cape, while they have their own homelands in the Eastern Cape. So he's asking, how is it possible for people to move away from where they come from and want to claim land in some other people's lands? You know, in a way, it's a very tricky argument, and it's also understandable. But the only part I don't understand is them wanting to close off everyone else and calling everyone else foreigners because they are entitled to the Western Cape.
I think why they want to do that is because it's colored people, right? I feel like maybe because for the longest time, colored people, there's no one to represent them, and they feel like they are not seen, like during the time of apartheid, like during this time, like people don't see colored people. It's like they are invisible, because even when they go and apply for jobs, they take a black person.
He even spoke about it, that in the Western Cape, a province where it's dominated by colors, but you barely see colored people working in the banks. And it's understandable, hence I'm saying it's a tricky conversation, you know. It's understandable what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because I can only imagine there's certain parts, I'm sure some people know this, in Limpopo. When you go to Elim, when you go to Nkunakral, when you go to Kiani, maybe Masingita Mall, and you would assume those places, it should be Tonga people working in those malls, working in those KFCs, in those malls. But you barely find Tonga people working in shopping centers that are located where Tonga people stay. You find vendor people working there. Would it be understandable for Tonga people from those places to stand up and say, but it's not fair that you're only hiring vendor people, but this is our place?
Yes, I think it's fair. It's very fair. It's something that's happening there. It's fair because, I mean, like, this is majority is Tonga people. So why are they vendor people in working places? So somehow they prioritize vendor people more than they prioritize Tonga people.
Then that's the birth of tribalism. So it's understandable and it's also tricky. The fight is understandable here.
Yeah.
It's not fair that certain people are taking opportunities of people who come from here.
Yes.
But now with that, you are creating hatred amongst the two tribes. If you speak for that,
It's gonna be
So,
a hatred. It's gonna
be tribalism.
Yeah.
And then when now politicians and movements start representing it, it becomes even worse when there's political parties invented to fight for these things now. It's like this thing of foreigners, people starting to fight against foreigners. Look where it is. Now this guy started a colored party to fight this. Look where it is. Patriotic Alliance, they have now stopped to fight foreigners. They are now a colored party. Look at how they move. The people they hire, the people they put in leadership is colored.
Wow.
So there's a fine line between
blacks.
Right and wrong. There can never be too much right and too much wrong.
Yeah.
There can only be right and wrong.
Yeah, it is kind of tricky because, I mean, I also understand the frustration, right? Because when you made an example with Venda and Tonga people, so I also like kind of somehow understand where they're coming from, you know, because also I think that guy mentioned that I don't know if you mentioned that on the video, but I know like also one of the reasons they want to close up that place like Western Cape because they feel like the government has failed them. The government promised that they're gonna end corruption, they're gonna end crime, they're gonna employ, they're gonna create job opportunities, and none of those things happen. So they feel like when we make it an independent, we're gonna be able to end the corruption, the crime, and things like that.
It don't work. Because the person who wants to make the Western Cape independent is a British citizen. Phil Craig is a British citizen. So this guy, if he's speaking about making Western Cape independent, is not his idea. He's taking an idea of a foreigner anyways. He's taking an idea of the Cape independence movement. So he's not speaking for colored people when he's saying those things. He's speaking an agenda of other people. So that's where it gets tricky when they want to make Western Cape independent. You end up asking yourself, is this really even about colored people? Or is about creating another state within South Africa? Next thing we have is South Africa and Western Cape. Same thing as Palestine and Israel.
Wow,
you know?
That's gonna be war.
Yeah, because in Western Cape, when you check, even in Cape Town, there's plenty of Jewish people who are investing there. There's plenty of migration coming from Ukraine. Hence Cape Town, there's white people, a lot of white people, Europeans. And there's the ports there in the Cape where they transport things, go outside through the oceans, they go to the to other continents, you know, like America. They have the ports, they have that advantage. Then they want to make it independent.
Yo, that's crazy.
Like, it's going to be crazy. Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
I think
you can't allow that.
Yeah, they saw the opportunity and they want to take it, and they see that the South African leadership, the government is weak. For them to even like come up with, for them to be even that an idea, like that shouldn't be a conversation, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy because even if you look at these ideas from all of these people, and even if you look at Patriotic Alliance, you look at the DA, these are the parties that have voted the most in the Western Cape. Patriotic Alliance now is competing with the DA. And then you look at this guy, Kyle Congress. One thing they have in common is they have good ties with Israel. They barely speak bad about Israel. They barely condemn the genocide that is happening in Gaza. These guys. And then, with that being said, you only can imagine what that relationship between them and Israel mean. And you look at people who speak in support of movements like Patriotic Alliance, about Rob Herzog. Look at him. He's a guy who speaks for Israel. It's like he's pro-Israel day in, day out. Rob Herzog. And then you ask yourself,
no,
like, what are these people's intentions?
Yeah.
And then you look at Rob Herzog, you look at him trying to scoop these black content creators and trying to make like a new show like the Ben Shapiro shows. He's trying to make that with Abu Sama Sembit. There's a guy called Sama Sembit and this other boy. Young boys.
Wow.
When they speak, it's like they speak for white people. They disgrace their own black people.
They are sellout.
I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't say
Wow,
that
that's
allegedly,
crazy.
of course. But you look at that, and then you look at APEC, and then you look at these people's ties with Israel. You can only imagine what that means.
Clearly, their intentions are not good.
Hey, man.
Allegedly.
It is what it is, though. I don't want to speak much on this, just to give you guys hints.
Oh, no, that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
scary.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
No, guys, the government should not even allow this. Like, it shouldn't. I don't think it's in the law to make a certain province a country. You know.
I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Because in the next coming years, you know how Zulu people also go on. They're gonna be like, oh, we also wanna make it an independent province.
Yeah, and it can happen. Next thing in Limpopo, people they wanna make next thing in Limpopo because there's 3 tribes. There's Pedi, Venda, and Tonga. Next thing Tonga people wanna make the Tonga areas own country. Venda
And chase
people,
away vendors from
Pedi.
their working.
So you can only imagine how far this can go. But hey, it is what it is, man.
But the government is sitting on his. He took his 2 eyes and he's sitting on top of it, because clearly he's blind. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching up until the end. Catch me on my next video. Peace.